All right, good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started with this NDF proposed regulation workshop for June 21st, 2024. I will call the meeting to order at 11:03 a.m. So good morning. My name is Ryan Shane. I'm a Deputy Administrator with the Nevada Division of Forestry. This is the time and place set for the public workshop to solicit comments on proposed regulations by the Nevada Division of Forestry. The purpose, of today's workshop is to solicit information, oral and/or in writing, in commentary form from interested people and organizations that can offer information to the Nevada Division of Forestry about the petitioned inclusion of red rock sunflower, Helianthus duvernii, on the list of state critically endangered and fully protected species. This species is known to exist within and around Red Rock National Conservation Area in Clark County, Nevada. Information is also being sought for minor corrections to spelling and nomenclature for existing listed species as required by Nevada Administrative Code 527.010, subsection 3. This workshop is being held at the Grant Sawyer Building in Las Vegas, Nevada, streamed live on the Legislative Council Bureau's website via Zoom. Persons wishing to provide public comment via Zoom or by phone can call 888-475-4499. I will move to agenda item 2, public comment. I will open the public comment first for persons here in Las Vegas. Anyone wishing to provide public comment is asked to state and spell their first and last names for the record. And please limit your comments to 3 minutes per person. Keep in mind that there will be an opportunity to comment on the draft regulation, specifically under agenda item 5 as we move through the meeting. Is there any public comment in Las Vegas? There is none that we can see. BPS, is there any public comments from persons online or on the phone?
Thank you. If you would like to provide public comment for today's meeting, please press *9 or raise hand in the Zoom client to participate. Once more, press raise hand in the Zoom client to participate in public comment. There are no online participants wishing to add public comment at this time.
Thank you, BPS. Moving to agenda item 3, presentation on the status of red rock sunflower. We will be receiving informational presentations on the status of red rock sunflower from the Nevada Division of Natural Heritage and the Bureau of Land Management. I'd like to invite Jamie McClinton, Administrator of the Nevada Division of Natural Heritage, to provide the first presentation.
Thank you, Ryan. Right. Let me get my share screen set up here. Are you able to see my screen? Hearing no comments, I will proceed. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jamie McClinton. I recently transitioned from the position of Supervisory Botanist to Administrator for the Nevada Division of Natural Heritage. Today I'm going to give a brief introduction to red rock sunflower and its conservation status from the perspective of the Nevada Division of Natural Heritage. Red rock sunflower, or Helianthus duvernii, is a newly described species in the sunflower family Asteraceae. According to both genetic and morphological evidence, its nearest relative is Helianthus pumilus, which occurs primarily in dry, rocky places in Colorado and Wyoming. Red rock sunflower differs from all other sunflower species by its DNA profile and visibly by the combination of strong perennial habit, smooth whitish stems, very narrow unstalked leaves in both alternate and opposite arrangements, and small heads with yellow rayflower laminae that are less than 11 millimeters long. This species was first collected in 2007 at an unnamed spring in the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area. Between the time of its collection and its formal publication in 2021, specimens were examined by experts at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, College of Southern Nevada, and University of Tennessee, all of whom were not able to satisfactorily key it to any known species. It was determined that, due to the unique characteristics of this plant, it may warrant description as a new species. This conclusion was supported by molecular evidence provided by the lab of Dr. Schilling at the University of Tennessee. In 2022, NDNH submitted a petition to the Nevada Division of Forestry to add Helianthus duvernii to the Nevada list of fully protected native flora. And in 2023, this plant was added to the BLM Special Status Species List and listed as endangered by the Nevada Native Plant Society. Red rock sunflower is known only from moist alkaline soils that are associated with desert spring vegetation in the vicinity of two springs in the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area. The plant occupies almost 1 acre of total habitat within a total geographic extent of just about 1/4 of a square kilometer. About half of the habitat and just over 1/3 of the plants are located on BLM managed lands, while the remaining plants and habitat are on the adjacent private inholding. This highly restricted geographic distribution makes red rock sunflower one of the rarest plants in Nevada and in the nation. This is a map of the general distribution of red rock sunflower and its location relative to private inholdings, which are highlighted in blue. Only a small minority of the private inholding owned by the Girl Scouts of Southern Nevada actually contains habitat for this species. The inset map shows the location of the species within the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area, which is outlined in black. The precise location boundaries are not shared here due to rarity. However, this data is available upon request from the Nevada Division of Natural Heritage. At the time that the species was described, only 400 individuals were known. However, in 2020, while publication was pending, BLM conducted detailed surveys at the two springs where it is found. In October of 2021, BLM provided the results to Heritage at our request. During these surveys, BLM flagged and counted all plants found, including non-flowering individuals that were not detected in earlier surveys. After analysis of the BLM survey data, NDNH estimates that the total combined population is approximately 725 individuals. Extreme rarity by itself threatens the survival of this species because it is highly vulnerable to destruction from random natural and human-caused events. The rarity of this plant also makes it attractive to novelty seekers, and it occurs in easily accessed habitat near a heavily used trailhead. As noted in the article describing the species and corroborated by aerial imagery, the habitat is traversed by trails and old roads at both springs, and there's heavy recreational use in the area. Additional threats noted in the publication and subsequent surveys are disturbance by burrows, fire hazards from invasive grasses, and the potential for hydrologic alteration to spring habitat if surface or subsurface water diversions were to occur. A wellhead was noted near one of the springs. NDNH further notes the potential for climate change to alter spring flows and surface hydrology, and the potential for modification, development, or destruction of habitat within the private inholding. The Nevada Division of Natural Heritage is part of the NatureServe Network, an international network of heritage programs that utilizes standardized methodologies for data collection and curation to inform conservation status rankings for tracked species. Due to its extremely limited geographic distribution and abundance, and the variety of threats posed to red rock sunflower, this plant is currently ranked as critically imperiled at both the state and global level by NDNH and NatureServe. This species is also listed as sensitive by the BLM and as endangered by the Nevada Native Plant Society, listed during the 2023 Nevada Rare Plant Workshop. Based on the history of intensive botanical surveys throughout the Spring Mountains and at isolated springs and other natural water sources throughout the Mojave Desert, it's the assessment of NDNH that additional undiscovered populations are unlikely to exist in numbers sufficient to change the current threats to and conservation needs of the species. In light of existing information on the extreme rarity, inherent vulnerability, and threats facing this plant, NDNH has concluded that this plant requires special protection to ensure its long-term survival. Additionally, due to the limited geographic range of the species and its habitat within both public and private lands, it's our assessment that relatively minimal management measures are likely to have high potential for benefit. Thank you for listening. If there are any questions related to the natural history of the species that we're unable to address, please reach out to me at jmcclinton@heritage.nv.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Up next, we will have Lillian Setters with the Bureau of Land Management to provide an additional presentation. And BPS, you might be able to help us get the laptop screen in the room here in Vegas up on the broadcast, if possible.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lillian Setters. I'm a botanist for the Bureau of Land Management, Southern Nevada District, and I'm going to talk today about Helianthus divernii from the BLM perspective. I've got a short presentation for you all today, and I'm basically going to do a lot of reiterating of what Jamie just taught you all. So like Jamie said, the red rock sunflower has an incredibly restricted geographic range, making it inherently vulnerable to any environmental threats such as wildfire, natural disaster, etc. Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area has a history of wildfire, large wildfires at that, and so large populations of red brome persist throughout this area, carrying a lot of fuel for potential wildfires that could come through and wipe out this entire population of the red rock sunflower. It's vulnerable to other potential threats and natural disasters such as, flooding events, any large monsoonal rains that could come and wash out the areas where these sunflowers reside. There's a lot of development going on in the Calico Basin area as well as the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area itself, including, housing development as well as, connecting trails from Las Vegas to Red Rock that could have potential impacts to this species. And I don't think anyone anticipated the amount of visitation that Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area would be getting. And with that, just increased disturbance from multiple uses such as, foot traffic, bike traffic, RC cars, all of the multiple uses that go on out there. It sees impacts from burrows, among other uses. And at the BLM, we're going to focus on the future work needed done to conserve this species. The BLM has already started working on seed banking this species, working with the California Botanic Garden. We're going to beef up the surveys that have already been done and look for new occurrences of this species within Calico Basin and Red Rock Canyon. We are going to coordinate and fund research, getting at the genetics, the pollination ecology of this species, etc. We'll be doing some habitat restoration, including invasive species management, signage, and increased law enforcement patrols. And that goes hand in hand with monitoring the populations of these species out in Red Rock Canyon, trying to get at their trend, whether they're growing, whether it's decreasing, potential threats to the species, and the status of the environment. And if you've got any more questions about what the BLM is doing to conserve this species, you can reach out to me at lsetters@blm.gov. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Setters. One quick question, if I may. You talked about visitation to the NCA and that we didn't really anticipate how much there would be these days. Is there any kind of statistics or numbers associated with that?
There's nothing that I could give you right now. I could, potentially head back to my desk and produce something for you later. But, Red Rock Canyon is experiencing the same volume of visitation that Zion National Park gets. And, it is one of the largest, most visited national parks in the United States. The Las Vegas Valley has grown exponentially. And as we see that growth, we see people moving out and trying to experience these natural areas. And with Red Rock being right on the fringes of town, a lot of that traffic goes to Red Rock. Calico Basin, where this Helianthus divernii populations are, is not a fee area. Other portions of Red Rock you have to pay a fee to get into, and because of that, it it drives traffic and it drives users to go to this non-fee area, perhaps concentrating them more so in this area than people had anticipated. And because of that, we do see impacts to this plant and its habitat.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our presentations on the species of red rock sunflower, and we will go ahead and move to agenda item 4. Thank you to our presenters. Really appreciate the opportunity to hear more about this species. Agenda item 4, discussion on the Small Business Impact Survey. So as a part of the regulatory process, Nevada Division of Forestry is required to consider if a regulation is likely to impose a direct and significant economic burden upon a small business or directly restrict the formation, operation, or expansion of a small business. So Division of Forestry mailed out a small business questionnaire to businesses and organizations that have operational nexus with the locations and land uses of lands that support known populations of red rock sunflower. The division sent 65 questionnaires, and responses are due to the division today. Thus far, no responses have been received by the division, and so therefore we don't have much to report. So I will go ahead and move to agenda item 5, which is review and discussion of proposed revisions to the Nevada Administrative Code 527. The Nevada Division of Forestry has prepared a draft regulation which can be found on the agency's website, forestry.mv.gov, under Happening Now. Should the division conclude that the red rock sunflower listing is warranted and minor nomenclature changes are necessary, this draft regulation will be submitted to the Legislative Council Bureau for legal drafting. Following the drafting, an adoption hearing would be scheduled. The draft regulation includes the addition of red rock sunflower to the list of fully protected species of native flora to the Nevada Administrative Codes 527.010. The draft regulation also includes edits to 4 other currently listed species names in conformance with the International Code of Nomenclature for Algae, Fungi, and Plants in the latest edition. We'll take public comment on the draft regulation here first in person in Las Vegas, and then we'll move to the phones. Again, for public wishing to make comment via Zoom or by phone, please call 888-475-4499. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes per person. Is there anyone in Las Vegas that wishes to provide comment on the draft regulation? Okay, seeing none, BPS, would you check the phone lines and Zoom to see if anybody wishes to provide public comment from those locations?
If you would like to provide public comment on the current agenda item, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom client to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer public comment at this time.
Thank you, BPS. I will conclude agenda item 5 and move to agenda item number 6, which is general public comment. Anyone wishing to provide public comment is asked to state and spell their first and last names for the record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes per person. Is there any public comment here in person in Las Vegas? Seeing none, BPS, do we have anybody online or on the phone to provide public comment?
Thank you. If you would like to provide public comment for today's meeting, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom client to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer public comment at this time.
Thank you, BPS. And with that, we will conclude agenda item 6 and move to agenda item 7. And this workshop is adjourned at 11:23 a.m. on June 21st, 2024. Thank you very much.